So, welcome to my little mini series on mindset. Now, this is going to be on IGTV and it's going to be on YouTube. So if you want a nice HD view of this hair, then head on to YouTube. But today I want to talk about rejection, but also what rejection really means and how, cliche, but it's getting closer to a yes. Now, rejection is something that we are going to face in property all the time, right? And I think in any business really, right, especially when you're starting out, the amount of no's you're going to get from people. And actually the main reason could be because you're starting out. It could be because you're new, you haven't got your whatever set up, you haven't got a reputation, you haven't got reviews, whatever it might be, there's always going to be a reason to reject you. Oh, I don't like your glasses, I don't like your shoe. People are going to reject you for whatever reason, okay? Now, rejection is something that personally for me, I was quite used to because I, had a recruitment business before I got into property. And if you've ever been in recruitment, Lord, then you know that, everyone hates you instantly because you're a recruiter. You get no's from candidates, from clients, from everyone. Because there's so many of you fighting over the same scraps, basically, And because of that, I got really used to, being told no, especially for reasons that weren't in my control or weren't really my fault or were just sort of whatever, So for me, I was very, very used to it. But I know a lot of people, especially if you're not in a sales job, you're not going to be used to it. Now, I think the first thing for me, a bit of advice I can give for getting used to rejection is you have to know where you're going wrong. You have to know where it doesn't work to know when it does work, right? So you have to be told no, because why haven't you got any reviews on your website? Okay, go get some. There's your lesson. You've been told no because of the way you pitched. But hold on a minute, go learn how to pitch. You've been told no because you called at the wrong time of day. Okay, well, call back a different time of day. You've been told no because you didn't get through to the main person, you got to the gatekeeper. Okay, try LinkedIn, do something different. Now these are maybe more salesy, but it's the same thing with your offers, it's the same thing with investors. You get feedback in conversation. So as much as you can say to people, hey, can you give me feedback for why you didn't invest in me or whatever? They may not, but sometimes it'll be quite obvious. It'll be, oh, you know what, the rate was too low. Oh, I wasn't happy about the level of security. I just wasn't sure, you're a bit new. Now, two of those factors you can control, right? The rate and the security. Doesn't mean you should. So that rejection is a lesson, but it's also a lesson in holding your ground. Because if you're like, yeah, man wanted 20% and I was offering 10, shut up. That's not going to work, right? So that's a lesson in, it didn't work because of the interest, but then it doesn't work for me at a higher interest. Therefore, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it as it is. So that's a lesson, right? It feels like it's sort of like you should just bend to their will or not. But no, the lesson there is powerful. And the lesson there is hold your ground. With security, maybe you say, actually, you know what? They were giving me $500,000. Maybe I should give them a charge or whatever, blah, blah. You can go back to the drawing board and say, look at this deal. How can I fit that in? And if you can, and the feedback you keep getting is, I'm not happy with the security, then you need to work something out and change it. So every single no is actually feedback. It's actually a lesson. Now I do get that when you're offering on properties, you're doing the BRR model and you put in shit out of offers and you get nothing accepted. Is there a lesson there? Well, there's not a specific lesson. I think the lesson is just keep going. You're doing a very tricky strategy. We're bottom of the barrel when it comes to order of and strength of offers. So sometimes the lesson is just menial. It's just keep going, keep pushing. Sometimes it's something deeper. A lot of the time it's something deeper. The next little tip is, and again, so cliche, but it's one step closer to a yes. If you're having 40 no's and you got to put about 50 offers in to get one accepted, aren't you 9 away from being accepted? But if you get to 50 and you still are getting them all rejected, are you following up your deals every X many weeks? Is your VA on your spreadsheet looking at the last contacted date and emailing the agent to follow up? I cover this in my e-learning. Are they doing that? Well then, actually, there's your lesson, is forget this 50-1 rule. You're going to be 100-1 because you're not following the rest of the rules and the conditions that make this one rule applicable, right? So there's lessons in every single no, and that goes back to my first point. But it's getting you closer to a yes, right? Because every no goes back to step one, you learn something from, and the next no is slightly better. You understand why. You're getting closer and closer, and you know what the client, customer, vendor, whatever wants. You inch closer and closer to a yes. Now look, every one of you has a yes coming, and it's just around the corner, right? But I can't tell you how far that corner is. I can't tell you if it's the next left or the 100 blocks down the road left. I can't tell you if it's a mile away or 10 miles away. But when you turn that corner and you get that yes, you'll forget the no's. You'll be like, oh, did I have any rejections? Oh, I forgot about that. But that is the key point. That's the tipping point, right? When you turn that corner and you get those yeses, that you know this has been effective. So those are my musings and my thoughts on rejection.